Well, James, it's like the Inquisition always says, honesty is the best policy.
Does the Inquisition say that?
They want other people to say that to them. They prefer it when other people are honest with them. Yeah. We're back for the second half.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just quickly putting in a stats for a Cyber Master for Henley's purposes. I've got everything.
Ares.
Yep. I've got everything in there right now except for the weapons, which I'm just quickly putting in.
Firemouth.
It has bite, shock bite, and chain bite.
Chain bite? Is that like it turns into a chainsaw?
Yeah, pretty much. Like its teeth start to go in circles. Like
That's disgusting. Oh, little puppy!
Fuck.
How dare you bite me? And then it just starts rotating your flesh around your arm inside of its mouth. Oh my god!
I mean, did anyone see the film Screamers with the guy from RoboCop in it?
I think so.
Yeah, it was a sort of sci-fi horror movie where it's sort of set on Mars, maybe, or the moon or something like that. And basically, it's like these two factions are at war, and one of them tries to win the war by developing these special robots that can disguise themselves as simple things like animals, that sort of stuff, that then turn into killing machines, and they start to develop and make themselves look like people as well. But they've got these sort of like lamprey-like mouths that spin. Anyway, I'm off topic.
Like
yeah. So yeah, I've put the stats in there now, Dave. You've got a Cyber Massive in under your control. I'll just drop it into the character section. There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Dave's eyes turn yellow, assuming direct control.
AP, what was the rarity of that shield that you found?
The suppression shield, rare.
Can it be best quality and whatnot?
I have no idea. It's Into the Storm, page 124, bottom.
Let's say if we can try to get that real quick.
We literally stopped going to our meeting. Head over to a marketplace. Yeah, so like as we're walking, Nero's just like, "Why are you all looking around? You're acting kind of weird."
You're the one that was like, Don, there's this nice shield that you could get.
Oh, well, we aren't walking towards a shield manufacturer. Everybody's just looking at stuff.
So one that you'll all notice this without a roll when you get down to the lower hive as well, is that you're in like the mid hive now where all the workers are basically. So you sort of see like similar to like roadside memorials, like when there's been a car accident, there'll be like somewhere where like someone has like set up a bunch of candles and some photos, and an aquila. Where clearly, somebody has died. They're like at the mouths of alleyways or in streets, that sort of thing. And occasionally, like you'll come across one where, they're like the chalk outline is still on the ground, or there's still like, do not cross lines up, and someone's like put like a mini sort of roadside memorial by what was clearly a murder scene.
Well, this is all very unorderly. Did you guys know that there are missing persons? This is the first I've heard of it.
Are you surprised?
Posters everywhere.
Really? Nero looks around.
Yes.
Once someone points out to you, like, "Oh yeah," they just went into the whitewash,
Are you the only one that didn't notice that?
There are quite a few missing posters
Nero
around.
looks at one with his actual eyes and a second with his omnisite eye.
Okay.
Just to reconfirm.
Yep, checks out. Looks like there are missing persons. Well, surely that won't relate to any of the reasons that we're here. The whole one reason we are all here.
Why do you say it like that?
Is there
No reason.
more than one reason why we're here, Nero?
Of course not. That's why I said there is only one reason why we are all here, which is the truth. In the specific way that I have said that. Don't mind me, I'm just being Nero-ish. Classic Nero.
Like Pierre makes a mental note on helping Nero with his lying game.
Listen, I feel like I've been entirely canonical with how bad he is at lying.
Yes.
Yeah.
My deceive is a
lucky no one's
15, and I get a -5 to it because it isn't a combat topic.
He's just lucky that no one's trying to call him on his bullcrap.
What did you say?
Well, everything
what
I'm
page
saying
the
is
shield
technically true.
What was that? Sorry, Dave?
on? What page did you say the shield was on?
1, 2, 4.
Arthur?
Just because it's true doesn't mean it doesn't sound sus.
Sure.
I don't know what it is with my book, but I have just like enormous black logos all over my Into the Storm book. Like the PDF's fucked up somehow.
So as you're making your way to the Arbitrate's precinct on this level, I would like everybody please to give me a willpower roll. That's +0.
Oh boy.
What is this related to? Because I have certain.
I will, if you've got resistant psychic phenomena, I will allow you to add the +10 from that.
Well, I should have brought Cade.
I have. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at the Aries sheet. And I was wondering why I couldn't see it.
All right, cool.
I have.
That roll there, 75. I think I'm gonna fate point mine.
Okay.
Resistance psychic techniques.
Yeah, I'll give you a +10 for that, Dave.
I mean, that's exactly what it does. So, yeah, it gives me +10. So, +10 willpower. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Let's hope this
So it's
doesn't
like
work at.
75. Can't get much worse.
Let's hope it's not a fear effect.
Sorry,
All
is
right.
willpower at 0?
+0, yep.
I'm good.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
Does Adrian wear like gloves, or is his armor got like hand coverings at all?
He does have gloves. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. So as you walk along, you sort of feel like, imagine like you had like an oily feeling inside your gloves, like your fingers feel wet inside your gloves.
Okay.
You're not sure where it's coming from.
Okay. Yeah. So he like pulls his gloves off and like
All right.
ring like.
Well, as soon as you
tries to
pull your
figure
gloves
what-
out, as soon as you pull your gloves off, you look, your hands are covered in blood. Well, there's no obvious injury. It's like, you've just, you've just dipped your hand into a cauldron of blood and pulled it out as such. Like
Sure.
it's dripping to the ground in front of you. It's soaked through your glove.
Yeah, so he like starts like wiping them on his pants and like shaking them to try and get the
Okay.
blood off. And
Do we see this, and is it really happening?
So you see him responding to this, but he just appears to be like shaking his hands off without any sort of, And the moment someone draws Adrian's attention, he looks up and looks back. The blood's gone.
Adrian,
And
what are you
he's-
doing? You're acting weird. You're being very Nero-ish, and that's really my shtick.
I didn't know you had a shtick.
I have
I thought
several
you just fired
shticks.
a lot of weapons.
it's just something.
Lord Captain, he's deeply offended by that.
I'm sorry. Fired a lot of weapons, threatened a lot of people. And
I've solved
like eating
several
food.
mysteries as well. With
Adrian
violence.
just puts his gloves back on while they're
Adrian, what are you doing over there? Will you stop fidgeting? It's not good for you.
I think that there was something inside of my gloves, I thought, but turns out they were empty, aside from my hands.
Yep. Are your
what
gloves
do you think was
normally
in your
not
gloves?
empty, aside from your hands?
It depends on if I'm wearing them or not.
Is
I don't
this
want to
a
ask
riddle?
further.
No, it's
don't-
fine. We can go.
Adrian, what you do on your pastime, I don't want to know.
Let us continue, Lord Captain, without this nonsense and silliness.
Okay.
Adrian is just as bad at lying as Nero.
You find yourself to what is indicated to be the Arbitrate's precinct house, which is actually a former factory of some type, which has been repurposed. So you can sort of see like the effectively the warehouse attached to it where that would have stored goods, the front entrance, the workers' entrance, but Arbitrate's identification signals have been placed up around the place and enough signage to indicate that this is Arbitrate's. There are also a couple of repressor tanks parked out in front of the place as well. And you sort of see like a couple of Arbitrates in their uniform, which for your benefit, Dave, is very Judge Dredd looking. So think of it like that's sort of like the padded black armor, the mostly face covering helmet, and they seem to carry some sort of bludgeon like a shock maul, and probably some sort of auto pistol as well as their main armaments.
Metal.
Yeah, this seems to be the place.
I grab some random worker-looking person and say, "Take me to the location I can find precinct wording manuscriptment from. We're very important." I'm Nero the Blade, also known as the Last Word from the Hand of Calixis.
So some worker in the
while I'm
street,
doing
or
that too.
Someone working in the street, or someone in the you actually go into the precinct house for this?
No, someone outside the precinct house.
Okay, well, they sort of point you towards the precinct house, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure all the arbiters.
All right,
are
I
in
kind
there.
of push him a little bit, and I'm like, good. And I go in the precinct house, and I say the same thing, but I don't grab a police officer, because that would be bad. But I do gladly declare who I am and what I'm here for, which is to me.
Everyone sort of like turns and looks at you, and you make this loud declaration. Then you hear some like Riani's voice from just behind us, you saying, "We have an appointment with the warden."
Yes.
Thank you, Riani.
We're rogue traders, and we're all very important. This is the Lord Captain.
There's only one rogue trader.
I get down on one knee and I present the Lord Captain.
Oh god.
Riani sort of leans over to Nero and sort of says, like, "I thought you wanted us to keep this quiet."
Yes, you're right. I did want to do that. But this is a roleplay game, and I forgot that part.
Okay.
And I'm not willing to walk back everything I've done from here.
Nero, I feel like I should have just left you at home.
I believe that would have been appropriate, Lord Captain.
Are you talking this session or the first session?
I don't know. Let me get back to you with the numbers.
Okay, so they quickly work out where you're supposed to be, and you are shuffled through these sort of corridors of this, effectively what has been a factory converted hastily into a police precinct, where effectively like machinery is being converted into random cells. They do seem to have quite a few people currently incarcerated here. Like I'd probably say, you probably see about 30 different Arbites officers, but there's probably, between all the cells, you count probably 50 or 60 detainees, which would be unusual for Arbites, given that they're not focused on street level crime. They're more focused on, wider imperial focusing crime. You find your way into an office, which is like a foreman's office, which has been converted, that has like a window that overlooks the precinct floor, with a gentleman probably in his 50s, heavily scarred face. The classic scar through the eye where he's got like a milky white eye in that spot. And like the scar line runs up into his hair. So like the hair forms like a second part where the scar passes through, but he's got like white, close cut hair. He's wearing, effectively the same uniform as the rest, just his rank badges indicate that he's a precinct warden. He has a bolt pistol at his hip. And a shock maul as well as the other hip. And he's got sort of like probably some decorations. When I say decorations, like he's been decorated militarily, or on display in these offices as well. So he's probably run precinct houses or at least run investigations in several major places and been decorated for it by his order. He stands up as you come in. Lord Commodore, I'm the precinct marshal here. Manus Kripman, your navigator said that you wish to speak to me about an important matter regarding you're looking to get in contact with a prisoner at High Volg.
Yes, I will. Yes.
He opens up his desk drawer and pulls out effectively a small cylindrical object. It looks like some sort of cut down Auspex device with like a little screen, and he places it on the table in front of you. This has been pre-coded with Mordino's prisoner ID. I can't guarantee you the man's even still alive. We don't really check in on the prisoners of High Volg once they're sentenced there. We usually make sure that those with less than 6 on them don't get out. Is there any other service that I can offer to you while you're here?
Lord Captain, there was a service I was thinking of offering the precinct warden that we spoke about privately on the ship ahead of time. You remember that? I'll catch up with you and the rest of the gang.
Of course, Nero.
Nero cracks his knuckles menacingly to imply that it might be his torture skills.
As you go to leave, then Pierre, he says to you, just if you need to take anybody with less than 6 on them out of the hive, that you get it cleared by me first. I'll authorize any transfer, but it needs to be done properly.
Excellent. Thank you.
Do I know less than 6 on them? What does that mean exactly?
No, I see something particular maybe to this colony.
Okay.
Maybe it's how many wanted posters he has out on the field.
Okay.
Nero waits for everybody else to leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if Pierre's walking out, so is Adrian.
Okay.
What's this business about less than 6?
It's the rules of high vogue. Anybody that's sentenced there to incarceration is incarcerated for the rest of their life and for the following 6 generations. Once a family has served 6 generations of penal time, they are free to leave the hive, although many do choose to stay since they often have very little wealth and have no chance to really leave the planet.
Wow, that is really fucking metal.
We may need to be flexible in the case of Raphael Moderno and several others.
As I said, I'm fully prepared to support the Lord Commodore, given his position. I just need to be cleared properly.
Understood. I'll make sure that's coordinated.
You okay there, Pierre?
6 generations, Jesus. Yeah.
No, it's like, I'll make sure that's coordinated. It's like, oh god, no, Nero.
Prisoner, you are forced by the laws of this planet to give birth to a child.
We just needed his
Nero,
brain, right? We didn't need the rest of the body, correct?
Nero produces his inquisitorial sign and says, "We heard you were looking for us."
Amazing.
Is it like a gang tattoo or something? Like
No,
is it
it's
a
literally
sign that
like
you
an
do?
actual.
Yeah, like he probably has one of those.
literally
that
this.
goes,
Rosette. He sort of looks a bit surprised, and he sits back in his chair. He's staying the whole time, and he offers you a chair at the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you a little armed to be an inquisitor?
Oh, thank you. Well, yes, Princess Leia. I would say I'm underarmed to be an inquisitor, but okay.
Pardon my surprise. It's been 5 months without any response to our communication.
The Inquisition does not announce its arrival.
Very well. I'll bring you up to speed. We've had a slate of murders on this world that definitely seems to have some form of cult or other malign influence. I'm not the chief investigator. I can put you in contact with the chief investigator for this particular crime. But for the most part, it starts with normal members of society with no prior bad marks among their name, or some, there's also been some who have had previous run-ins with the law, but for the most part, they are law-abiding citizens disappearing, usually for between 1 and 3 days. When they return, many return to their old lives. Many can't remember where they've been, but usually within 48 hours of reappearing, these individuals will basically go on a murdering spree until they're either brought down or otherwise incapacitated.
James, can I knowledge Inquisition this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Or knowledge heresy. Knowledge heresy.
I listen. The only thing I know about heresy is how to stop it, and that's the business end of a heavy bolter.
By the way, I love the idea that we're walking outside and I'm just like, is it just me or is Nero being like oddly suspicious these days?
I will re-roll.
He's being very strange. I agree.
I don't do so well.
Yep, you never heard of this problem before.
Have you ever heard of someone pulling their gloves off suddenly and then acting weird about it?
One of the hallmarks of people that have been affected is that they describe seeing bloody scenes either prior to this appearance or after they return.
I see. Is there no
I'm totally fine.
known remedy for this problem?
Well, what we tend to do is if someone does disappear and reappear, we lock them up here until enough time has passed that we're confident that they're not going to manifest this sudden psychological break.
So you do not suspect warp powers are involved in this? You believe it is merely psychological?
I think that it's. I can't think of any natural thing that would cause this. So I do believe that it's something outside of my realm of knowledge, which is why I reached out to you in the first place.
Are there no psychers on this world?
There is an astropathic choir. Those that have we have had psychic investigators examine the bodies of those who are have been infected and thus have attacked, and they have detected some form of extraplanar residue, like the person has been exposed to the energies of the warp, or the energies of the materium.
Nero's going to stare at him for an uncomfortably long amount of time to seem intimidating, even though he's going like, oh, what the fuck? I don't know how to solve this problem. Like, you didn't send me with a fucking inquisitorial psychic SWAT team.
So while you're sort of like, when you pause pregnantly a little bit too long, he gets out a bit of paper and starts writing something down, and then he slides it across the desk to you.
All right.
So it's two names. The first one is arbitrator Torten Dumarg, who apparently is the chief investigator for this particular case.
Yep.
And the second is Verispex officer Sari Fortner, who is apparently their forensic investigator assigned to the case.
At some point, Strain will realize that he might have sent the wrong person to this job.
So at that point, Trent realized he fucked up.
Nero's a much better blunt instrument than he is a scalpel.
He thought he sent it to the different acolyte who was actually good at investigation. And
Nero is good at investigating things. It's just that the investigations normally involve the collapse of several nearby structures.
Yeah.
Or the whole planet.
And multiple casualties.
He sent the sabotage mission to someone different that was actually supposed to be for you, and he sent the one that was supposed to be for the investigation to you instead.
Nero's like Star-Lord dropping the fucking like.
It's like somewhere there's this like bookish, Sherlock Holmes type has been told, we need to go and kill this.
I have to kill how many gangers?
Nero is going to pull out.
All I have is my pimp cane and my whip. I don't know how I can do this.
Nero's going to pull out his bounty slate and slide it over the table and say, I need a moment to think. Please update this device with the most recent bounties.
All right, he plugs.
Do you validate parking?
Listen, I feel like Nero's actually doing a really good job of being like inquisitorial.
Sure. I agree.
So far.
Yeah, he plugs it in.
As soon as rolls
pretty old data you got here. You don't update regularly?
Nero just glances at him briefly and gives him an expression that says, I'm the one asking the questions.
I didn't tell you to do your job.
Yeah, Nero's not going to say anything. There's no reason for him to engage in that level of conversation. He doesn't need this guy's help. This guy needs his help. Right. Nero
bounty hunter.
He passes back to you when he's he says bounty hunting is a very complicated profession.
No, I find it's extremely straightforward.
You bring them in cold, and you bring them in cold.
You give me your assurances that this technique of locking up the affected for how many days?
To be on the safe side, we usually get them for 2 weeks.
I see.
You
were right to contact the Inquisition.
2 several weeks, by the way, sorry.
This is beyond your ability to solve, and this information will reach those who can do something about it. Everything he's saying is technically true. That doesn't mean they will do something about it. You have done well in your service to the Imperium. You will forget that I was here, and our conversation was entirely upon the matter of the prisoners within this precinct.
This feels like one of those times where, like, your bathroom is flooded and you've called a plumber, and a guy turns up and he's just like, no, I'm just the assessor. Yeah. I'm just here to see what the problem is. We'll get someone to you in the next week or so.
Yeah. What, you're like, my bathroom is literally flooding. And then the guy's like, yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah, but they sit outside your house and just had you describe it to them like you did the person on the phone, and then that's what they based it on. They didn't actually go and look at it.
And then the final consensus they give you is like, yeah, you should have called a plumber.
Listen, Nero is trying to keep the Inquisition's mystique and grim darkness. He's not giving away, like, he's like, this is a problem that requires more serious look, which is Nero, true.
What of the Inquisitors that we've seen, besides the one that's a rogue trader that's had some sort of mystique to them that hasn't been, like, very open about it?
Cassia Schrain showed up with 2 Death Watch Space Marines and a Cyber Eagle, and fucking accosted us in the middle of a marketplace. It was awesome.
I'm gonna say there has been no mystique shown to us about the Inquisition, except for Pendergast, who was very in the shadows at first.
Okay, you know what? Nero is bringing it back, okay? Nero's making shrimp a thing. He's going for the classic look, okay? These new age Inquisitors, they just do whatever they want. There was a system, man, back when the Inquisition started, where it was scary and it was mysterious. And you didn't just hand someone a tome filled with forbidden Xenos knowledge when they're like, man, you know what? I could use some forbidden Xenos knowledge. All right. So that conversation doesn't happen between this guy and Nero. Nero's just like, you forget I was here.
I've obviously just finished, recently, Battle Sister, and of course the Inquisitor in that, which is Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor, turns up in Terminator armor, covered in inquisitorial eyes with the word "repent" on every joint, like on every shoulder and knee, that sort of stuff. So yeah, he's wearing his job on his sleeve for sure.
Yeah. Nero is covered in guns, so that tells you all you need to know about his job.
There are definitely 2 flavors of Inquisition. One of them is exceptionally bold,
and the other one is subtle.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
So Nero joins you shortly after you guys leave the warden's chambers.
Yeah, so we're in a makeup shop and we're being like, do you think this shade would match Nero's eyes? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Why are
it's
you
not
getting
purple
something
enough.
From Nero?
No, just
to
appears
match his
over your
new
shoulder.
disposition, Lord Captain.
There's the punchline.
Nero's gonna put a hand on Adrian's shoulder and say, I'm sorry about this, buddy, and then sucker punches him in the face. Just tries to knock him out immediately.
Okay.
I mean, so first off, do you want to resolve this as a combat, or do you want to just,
No, I just if it comes down to a combat, I'll definitely kill him. I just want to be like, bam, punch him in the face and knock him out. I have manacles, so I'm just going to toss him on him while it's done.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that he would suspect this to be coming, and Nero's pretty strong, so
wearing power armor.
I think Dawn will step in here, because that's like,
I mean, Nero's going to punch him in the face and slap him in manacles real quick.
Okay,
I ask why.
Nero's gonna throw Adrian over his shoulder and just say, we'll discuss it in the transport. There's more going on here than it seems. Adrian, this is for your own good,
Nero.
buddy.
To be honest with you, this is not like you at all.
Nero, we're gonna have a serious talk.
We will, Lord Captain. I assure you.
Let's also note now that Nero is carrying all of his weapons and Adrian.
Oh, Adrian, your stomach is probably pressing up against the hilt of the burning blade.
I'm gonna have some bruised ribs.
This is incredibly unacceptable.
I don't
believe that we should. I don't believe that we should follow his whimsical...
Nero just says, look around you. Look at what's happening. There are missing people everywhere. I discussed several topics.
Anything.
Yes, but why punch Adrian in the face to knock him out?
Because Adrian is affected by what is happening here. And if I warned him about it, he might attempt to flee. His mind is not his own.
From the lady with the jetpack?
What?
Does Dawn have her jetpack on?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was doing my job as a security officer. Dawn doesn't have manacles. She has a sword. And I don't know that she's particularly good at bringing people in cold. She seems to bring them in hot. And I don't mean alive.
And cold means alive?
No, cold also means dead. But she sets them on fire.
Nero.
That's what look, it sounded better in my head, all right?
Maybe you should discuss this with like at least me before you did it. Then I could have gave you the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Nero's still holding Adrian, and he's just like, again, Adrian is now a threat to himself. I am trying to save his life.
So you
And this information comes from who exactly?
From the precinct warden.
Okay.
This is a conversation that you intended to have with him by yourself, and
Our conversation strayed from the intended topic. I began by asking him about that comment about less than 6, since it seemed like somebody should.
Yes, it means
Look, we could stand here in the middle of a makeup shop talking about why I punched Adrian in the face, or we could find a secure location so that Adrian can safely sit down and maybe not kill himself in the process.
Fine.
Great. I'm glad we're all in agreement.
we're not in agreement.
You're eating low quality food for a week.
I accept that. It's better than Adrian hurting himself or us.
Yes, I love this plan where we punch our pilot in the face, knocking him unconscious and potentially rendering his brain useless for a very long time.
If I wanted to kill him or render him useless, he would be either of those things.
You punched him with a gauntlet from power armor.
I'm not wearing power armor. I'm wearing stormtrooper carapace. Trust me, you would know if I punched you in power armor.
You've tried it many times.
Only when you're also in power armor, Don. You don't just punch normal people in power armor. That's messed up. Who does that? He says, walking around with an armory on his body out of a makeup shop.
The shopkeeper returned to like the orange juices that she offered to get when you all first came in.
Someone get a sippy cup for Adrian. I'm leaving.
You're lucky I can fly ships.
So what secure location are you retiring to discuss
I
this?
assume the gun cutter.
Okay, so you head back up to the gun. It's going to take you about half an hour to get back up there. So
okay, but it's a little bit slower because I'm carrying Adrian. And
Every time you say gun cutter, I just think it's the fucking like a dude. Like I think it's a person. Like every single time.
He's a smuggler. His name is Gun Cutter.
No. I think it's like a Destiny character or an NPC. You know, like a vendor.
Luke
like
Skywalker. Gun Cutter.
Gun cutter. Yeah.
All right.
You return to the gun cutter.
I manacle Adrian to one of the like cargo bay areas.
Okay.
And then we all stand around him, and I'm like, Riani, stand nearby so we look more intimidating.
She stands by as
Why?
She's not intimidating at all. So, but she looks quite uncomfortable with the current situation.
Riani, you can do weird warp-looking stuff, right?
Why are we trying to look intimidating to our pilot? It's just...
We don't know that his mind is his own. I'll explain in just a moment.
Well, wake him up first.
He is awake. I just punched him once. He's not dead.
I just punched him awake.
I don't think we said he was ever awake.
Here's some orange juice.
She takes it.
Riani, can you see warpy stuff?
Punch me in the face.
Yes, I did. It's for your own good. Well, I'll explain in a moment. Everybody wants to know the explanation. Just give me a minute. Riani, the warp stuff. Can you do it or not?
I mean, there's
Nero,
nothing. I can always see into the immaterium from reality. I can see everyone's souls, but
yes,
everything looks the same as normal.
There's nothing wrong with Adrian right now?
No.
That's good.
I think you may have broken my nose.
No, I assure you it's fine. If I wanted to break your nose, it would be broken. So it's about the angle, you know. All right, everyone calm down. I'm now going to explain why I entered the makeup shop, sucker punched Adrian, manacled him, threw him over my shoulder, dragged us back to the gun cutter, and hung him on the side of the cargo
before you
bay.
begin any of your stupid reasons for doing this, I do believe Adrian gets to sucker punch you in the face.
He gets one free punch on you.
He's manacled. I will allow him to kick me.
I remove the manacles. He needs to punch you in the face.
Of I'm trying to save his life is difficult to understand.
Nero, unmanacle.
You just had the expert look
Nero?
at him and say that he's normal.
Unmanacle.
Please, let's just give Nero the benefit of the doubt and hear him out before we.
Yeah, he's being delaying of it. Could just.
I attempted to, and then Don literally said, "Before you explain, could we punch Nero in the face?" All right, allow me to explain what happened. Precinct Warden Manus Kripman and I had a longer conversation about what was happening on the planet. I described Adrian's condition of looking weirdly at his gloves. Apparently, it's a symptom of a greater disease on this planet. People who do that kind of thing disappear after 1 to 3 days and then come back homicidal. You might think that losing our pilot by being punched in the face right now is pretty bad, but I assure you him coming back, killing a bunch of people, and then dying is going to matter a whole lot more.
And you diagnosed this condition from him simply looking at his gloves.
He looked at them very weirdly, and I noted it because I'm a trained investigator.
You sleep with your rifles.
Yes.
Are you sure you're not being a little paranoid, Nero?
I'm very superstitious.
Have you looked around on this planet lately?
I mean, we did just get here, but...
Oh, I'm sorry,
yes.
Adrian. That's right. I went to the most important law enforcement officer in the land, and he decided to have a lark where I came down here and punched you in the face for nothing. Do you feel that I am not treating this situation with the seriousness and gravity that it deserves?
We don't know.
Allow me to reveal this information then. The local Astra Telepathica have been investigating this incident and have found that there is an extraplanar residue on the people that this has affected. I don't think I have to tell you that that's warp bullshit. That Adrian has been infected with. Now his suggestion is that this person be separated in a prison cell for up to 2 weeks, which will relieve his symptoms and allow him to rejoin the public, which means Adrian gets to go back to the ship and sit in the brig for 2 weeks.
Why don't we just keep him with us so we can keep an eye on him?
Hold up.
Do you forget the part where people disappear for 3 days and then come back and start murdering people?
So
what exactly were the symptoms? Then. Because you've only said that he looked at his gloves and that was a symptom. Does that mean every single person who looked at their gloves?
He's going to turn towards Adrian and say,
if me acting strangely is a symptom, then you surely are also infected.
Nero's going to slam his hand up beside Adrian and say, "Seen any blood lately, Adrian?"
Yes, now that you mention it.
Nero will turn as if that answers all of the questions. How could I have known that?
Even I saw blood.
David Blade.
I don't. What is the point here?
Not be wrong.
Even Adrian admits that something may be wrong with him, Don. You may think that my measures were extreme, but the Imperium is an extreme place to live in.
They were entirely extreme. You could have just told us that.
But what if Adrian's mind has become infected by this extraplanar residue? I have no idea how he could react. These people who have been affected by it are killing people. You understand that that's dangerous. Adrian is not a bad fighter. I don't think he could kill any of us here because there's a lot of us and we're very well armed. But there are a lot of civilians around us. He has control of a gun cutter. He could kill hundreds to thousands of people if he is allowed to just walk around and be affected by this. The situation is extreme.
I can't see any difference about Adrian from normal. I mean, is there anything else we can use to determine?
Can you contact some Astra Telepathica people? How do you navigators do with them?
Why don't we bring one of our astronauts down from the ship?
Let's do that. That sounds great. Thank you so much. What a great suggestion.
I'm going to do my best to inspect
Adrian
Adrian
for heresy.
with
Can I-
Medicaid, but also using the what's it called? The divine administration.
Oh, yes. Nice.
He's
Check to see
walked
if
out
there's
of
a
his
taint
mind.
on his soul.
Is there anything
He's
I can
got a
notice
soul
about
taint.
his
Well,
like?
actually, we all do, but
Also, I will do my best to repair his broken nose.
his nose isn't broken.
Can I maybe notice if there's anything like different twitching or something that he usually does?
He has an ominous look in his eyes. It's really malevolent.
Okay. Dawn, give me Forbidden Law Heresy. Pondo, give me Scrutiny.
Yeah.
Both be at +10.
Okay. Well, I'd be 3.5 instead of 2.5.
I will fate roll that, I think. Fate point that, or whatever you call it.
Fate roll like a face roll.
Yeah. Forbidden Law Heresy. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter.
All right. So you certainly attend to his physical and spiritual needs. You can't see anything about him that would indicate anything that you know of, anything that you've studied that would indicate he is somehow infected by something. Pondo, you don't pick up any other, unusual traits about him. He seems to be normal Adrian, other than the fact he's currently manacled to a wall. Presumably at some point in the next hour while you're just doing this, someone brings an astropath down who examines Adrian and says that they can't see anything about him that would indicate he's been infected by something in the warp.
What about Nero? Can I do the same thing on Nero, please?
Sure.
Great, because he's gone considerably off the deep end in the last couple of episodes.
Nero, can you unmanacle me, please?
Nero will turn to the Lord Captain.
Yes, unmanacle him.
All right. He unmanacles Adrian and then
Now,
squares
Adrian,
up to
punch him in the face.
Yeah, Adrian looks like he's about to protest, but then just throws a real quick jab, like right into Nero's nose.
All right.
I will not medicate Nero.
I almost feel like it's a bit like Flight Club, where it's like, you hit me in the ear.
Why do you punch someone in the ear?
That's a dick move, actually. Or like the smack into the ear, or just something.
Are we
The
doing
double
this
smack.
heresy roll on Nero? Right? That's what Dom was doing,
Yeah,
right?
I thought what she was doing, yeah.
Yep.
+10 or just normal?
+10, yeah.
Cute. 4.3.
No, I mean, look, Nero, funnily enough, is surprisingly unheretical. He's actually the pillar of imperial society when it comes to keeping everything above board. But yeah, I mean, he certainly is acting a bit differently to what you're used to. But whether or not,
Does he act like anything that I might be able to tie him to the Inquisition in some
no,
way?
I wouldn't say at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't soul gaze my inquisitorial connection. I'm going to turn to the astropath and just be like, all right, if Adrian isn't affected, can you follow me in a half-hour walk down to the police station and take a look at several people there?
All right, no worries.
I just want to prove to Dawn that this is the case, and I'm not being overly dramatic. And
So the only reason I would say something like that is because you know how in high school when that kid who lost for power becomes like a hall monitor,
yes,
like
that is Nero. That already is Nero. There's nothing wrong with it. So it should be noted the whole time Nero's gonna be like, I'm sorry I had to do that, Adrian. And even though no one else believes me, I believe that you're going to go crazy and start killing people, which is why I'm going to be keeping an eye on you.
I understand.
So Nero's gonna walk
I will be performing the same service for you.
Nero's gonna walk in front of Adrian, but make sure that his gun on his shoulder is facing behind him and is always pointed at Adrian.
Nero, you're the first person I suspect to go crazy and kill a lot of people.
I'm actually anticipating the day that happens so that I can kill Nero.
We take the
So
astropath
while you're doing
to
this,
the police station while threatening to kill each other.
All right, could everyone please make a willpower roll while you're doing
Great,
this?
perfect.
This is +10 for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll fate point that. Nope, failed. All right.
I will fate point. Man.
I will fate point.
I'm good.
How many times can you fate point on a
Just
roll?
once.
Just once.
Mm-hmm.
Nero succeeds.
Okay. So what's the worst is Pierre at -2.3, -2 degrees. Okay, no worries. So you're because you got to ride this train once again down to the level.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, you go to transition. You want some more privacy because you argue about killing each other and people looking at you strangely. So you go to transition to the next car. Pondo, you go to open the doorway into the next car. When suddenly Riani grabs your hand, with the strength that completely is very different from what she looks like. She looks tall and waif thin. She moves with an unnatural grace, but she just her hand whips out and grabs your hand with an inordinate strength. And she looks at you and says, "Don't open that door."
What? Why not?
What, Lord Captain? What do you... Open the door. We're waiting to go to the next car.
No, don't. It doesn't go to the next car.
Now, do we hear Rihanna saying all this?
Yes, yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's staring intently. So let me rephrase it. So head on, her head is stock at the door. So her eyes are looking over to talk where she's talking to you, but she is staying head on to staring at the door.
All right.
Probably,
I turn to our astropath.
with a third eye.
Hey, astropath, what's happening? Is there weird stuff?
Yeah. Let me make a roll for him. He's got a skill of 40.
He rolls Psyniscience and he fails. Oh my god, he succeeded! Now he'll tell everybody that Nero's not full of shit.
Yeah, he sort of recoils from the door in fear as well, and says, "There's something powerful beyond this door."
Okay. Nero moves to push everybody else out of the way and just
You
starts
are being
getting
silly.
all his weapons ready. And he's like, "You see, I told you there is warp stuff around here, and I brought someone who could do that warpy thing." Technically, Dawn did. I turn to Dawn and I'm just like, "You can apologize at any moment," as I get ready to tactically kick the door open.
Okay.
There won't be any reason to ever apologize to you, Nero.
It's affecting the Lord Captain now.
Nothing is affecting me. This is all very silly. I opened the door.
Nero tactically kicks the door open at the same time, but misses because the door's open.
The sliding door, so you just kick it in just a little bit.
So I need the two of you, both Pierre and Nero, to make an agility roll to see who opens or kicks the door first.
Pierre does. I'll just have him do it.
Oh, okay.
You both fall down and you start crawling towards the door.
I mean, I already described Nero as whiffing.
Nero, give me a roll. Give me a roll. I want to see how Nero does.
Okay, all right. And that's how Nero lost his foot, kids.
Train safety's not a joke.
Oh my god, you rolled
one! So much faster. The Lord Captain's looking around. He's like, "Where's Nero?" And Nero's like, "I'm already behind you."
Yeah, he's already flying kicked through the door. Okay, you kick the door in, and there is another train carriage with a bunch of shocked people on the other side.
Nero's fucking not hosing them down, but flagging them all with the heavy bolt.
Nero smoothly transitions to, "Sorry, wrong car."
No tickets.
Riani, the moment Nero touched the door, it passed. But for a moment there, that door didn't go anywhere on this world, anywhere in this dimension.
Nero turns to look at Dawn and the captain and Adrian with an incredibly smug look of knowledge.
That's incredibly silly. It just led to this cart full of shocked people. I am so sorry for my
Oh,
acquaintance here.
she said that quietly. by
Yeah,
the way.
Nero
She said-
closes the
she-
door in their face.
No,
Pierre doesn't say it quietly.
The door. This door will not be closable again. The door has been kicked off its
Yeah.
hinges. So it's
Nero
Pierre
tries
doesn't
to
say it
put the
quietly.
door back in place for a couple of seconds.
it's probably because it's probably like a sliding train door. So it's like buckled into the carriage as such. So
I think, Lord Commodore, there may be more going on here than what seems to be the case.
All right, Nero just fucking loses it at that point. He just finds a seat on the train and sits
I
down.
already said I agreed with you, Nero.
Thank you. And listen, I am really sorry about having to punch you in the face because you're slowly going insane.
No
I'm
matter
just
what,
trying to save you from yourself.
No matter what, I'm not accepting the punch in the face as warranted. That was
What
extremely
would,
excessive.
just in case this happens to you, Lord Captain, what proper procedure would you have me do to keep you from becoming a super lethal, homicidal maniac that the local arbitrace needs to kill?
Not punch me in the face if you
Yes,
plan on
I'm
detaining me.
asking for you to develop the protocol.
Just grab me.
Understood.
Detain me.
You literally had manacles. I don't understand why you'd need to punch him in the face.
Adrian, do you think I could just slip manacles onto you just right now?
Absolutely not.
You could have when you punched him in the face.
That's how I did. I punched him in the face and I slipped the manacles on.
You could have. Okay.
It's a lot easier to stun somebody with a punch than it is to handcuff them with manacles. It requires a double handing thing.
Pierre, what armor are you wearing, by the way?
What armor? The lathe casts
Stormtrooper carapace.
Yeah.
The same
no worries.
overall,
Okay.
right?
So, like, you notice when you like sit down as well, that the van brace where she grabbed you is actually like her handprint is crushed into the metal of the van brace.
Oh, well, damn.
What's wrong, Lord Captain?
It appears my van brace
Seeing
is
blood
crushed.
anywhere?
No, you're silly. Brianni has
Give
a
it
lot
a
of
rest,
strength.
man.
Apparently.
Oh, really? Even Adrian agrees with me now. Riani, our psychic investigator, Adrian, you're the only holdouts. Everyone else agrees with me. Nero says it, but like in a really supernaturally weird way.
Nero,
So that they're like, but
why are
you're the
you-
crazy one.
Calm
don't
down,
think
Nero.
anyone-
At the end of the
really
movie, I
agreed
just
with
want to
you.
reveal that Nero was right the whole time.
It'll be Nero and the last surviving member both wondering which one of them is actually the killer. It's like the thing, you know. This is
Nero knows that he
What are we
is the
doing, playing
killer.
Among Us?
I guess he was human after all. Makes you a murderer.
This is all incredibly silly. I will need to get this repaired though at some point.
And so, all right. So
Is it actually there for them? The handprint?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, she grabbed your hand.
geez.
She grabbed your hand with enough force. to
Wow,
crush
shit,
Rihanna's
Rihanna, you're
just
super
fucking
strong. Damn, do you work out?
I am really impressed. This is like metal. This is very cheap metal.
That's
I don't
lathe
think this is
forged
cheap
metal. That is
Yeah.
basically impossible to bend or break.
her. She looks sheepish, like she's done something wrong.
You
No,
haven't
I'm
done
just
anything
really
wrong,
impressed.
Rihanna. It's awesome.
Okay.
Like,
we're
what are you benching? 750, 800 kilograms? What's your grip strength?
It was the suddenness of the need to stop him from opening that door.
Apparently, there's a very much a need to stop me from opening that door. I'm just alarmed.
All right, so Nero's going to turn to a random citizen near him that's probably super alarmed and just be like, hey, you heard anything about people randomly seeing blood and then going crazy?
He nods.
I turn to look at the Lord Captain and Dawn. David Blaine. Ooh, street magic.
Nero, I understand that you are concerned with this, shall we call it warp phenomena that's occurring on this planet.
It's not, though. And that's the worrying part. At
We're
first, I thought
here-
it might be gene stealers, but then I rolled very low, so it's probably not gene stealers.
In any case, we're here to investigate and possibly fetch someone.
Yes.
we should probably focus on that.
I agree, Adrian. However, there is that small problem that our pilot might go insane and start killing people, which I thought was a priority to this mission.
No,
I'm
the
trying to
priority is getting the
prioritize
navigator.
your health and or murderous rampage over...
I would say the faster we get off of this world, the safer you'll be from my murderous rampages.
That's fine, but it's also not your call to make. It's the Lord Captain's.
I can also pilot the ship, so if need be, we can detain him in the ship.
Wow, if only someone had thought of that.
We don't need to detain him in the ship. He's fine. See?
As long as none of us go missing, we'll be fine.
Nero just turns to look at Riani and says, have you ever heard the parable of Cassandra?
So, are you still heading to the Arbitrage Precinct? Or,
Yes, because I want to put the final nail in this coffin that it's not Nero who's crazy, it's you! You're the crazy ones!
The really great thing is, like, we're all like, yeah, okay, Nero, like, we get it, we're on board. And you're like, no, I need to show you this one last thing.
Street magic. All right,
Okay,
psychic guy,
so
we're
return to
standing in
the
front of the
precinct.
precinct. Do you see weird warpy stuff on the people inside?
Okay, so they've got to go inside. They've got to actually go to the cells
right.
for that. But you're able to make that happen. You're able to flick around Pierre's credentials to be allowed access to some of these prisoners.
Yep.
I mean, you can simply just claim you're here. You're taking convicts for your ship crew if you wanted to, or you're reviewing that possibility. Anyway, so they look at it. So there are people that, as I said, there's about 30 people detained. Now, some of these people have been detained over other things as well, but they pick up that, well, so Riani more so than the astropath. The astropath says, oh, there's some weird stuff. She identifies 3 people who have been directly exposed to warp energy in the last probably 1 to 2 days.
And did you get that
Warp
feeling when you looked at either myself or the Lord Captain in the train?
No.
So it's time to stop messing around and to solve our problem as quickly as possible. And you, what's your name? Astrotelepathica guy from our ship?
Rosen.
Keep an eye on Adrian and the Lord Captain. If anything warpy happens to them, let me know. You're part of the team now.
Nero, why are you staring at him
the
threateningly
cabal.
while you're trying to give him an order?
This is my normal stare, Lord Captain. I always stare like this.
You're also sounding very suspicious at the moment.
This is my normal threatening voice when I threaten people.
This is Riani, sorry. Do you mind if I speak with one of these people?
No. Go proceed, Riani.
She sort of turns to one of the arbiters. May I have him in a room, please? Yeah, they organize an interrogation room that she can use to talk to this person. So you guys just happy to wait outside?
Yep.
Nero's going to watch it from the other side of the door using his scope.
Okay.
Because
No
it
worries.
has thermographic vision.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so she's talking to this person. They're basically sitting down and talking to her. So she talks to them for probably about 10 minutes. So Nero, you see the person. The person's like manacled at like a desk with their hands are like cuffed through like a loop onto the desk as such. The person suddenly stands upright. Effectively what happens, you can see from the thermographics that they stood up with such force that the chains didn't break. The chains are not to break, but effectively they just tore the left hand off. Like they tore the left hand out broke the joint at the wrist, tearing away the flesh, like degloved the hand basically.
Okay. I'm going to tactically kick the door open while this is happening and go, look upon what you see!
All right.
He literally tore his arm off. This is what I'm worried is going to happen to Adrian, Don.
Give me a strength roll, please.
Okay. I'm actually not that strong. It's the small problem.
You're not wearing
As
your
Nero
armor, right?
bounces off the interrogation door.
Yeah, this the steel lined concrete filled interrogation room door. Okay, no worries. That is not enough success to kick this door in. So certainly like you know, like the door, like there's like the wall around it cracks. There's like bits of masonry fall down. It's like it's more the frame that's going to tear away from the wall.
Okay.
Than the door away from its
I
hinges.
turn to the officer. I'm like, open this door immediately.
Yeah. Okay, no worries.
I like the idea that he just leans down and pulls it towards you. You know, like
And then I show Don the one-armed raving maniac with no hand trying to hurt Riani, and I'm like, "Yep, Don, this is what I was worried about."
So all of you hear a horrific sound from inside that room. It sounds like 1,000 dead souls screaming out in anguish and terror. I need everyone to make a willpower roll at +10, please. This is not psychic techniques, Dawn, so it doesn't get you additional +10.
right. Is this a fear thing?
It's
Because I also have
I'd say
So I have
if you've got resistance fear. I'll take that as well.
Oh, then
Okay.
if it's a fear check,
It's
pretty much
not a
everybody
fear
else is
check.
immune.
It's not a fear check.
Okay, it's not a fear check.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, but I will give resistance fear to this.
never mind.
I'm gonna fate point that. I'm just getting garbage rolls on my willpower today. All right, I'll take a 0.9, whatever.
I mean,
It's just the
0.9 is
fact
still
that you
pretty good.
pass.
It won't
It's
let you
still a
kick a
pass.
door off of the hinges if it's in a secure location, but
Okay, cool. Nobody takes insanity from this, but it is one of the most horrible sounds you've heard. And by the time this guy like gets the lock into the door, you know, gets the key to the door and throws the door open, Riani's staying there unharmed, and there is a pile of blackened ash, steaming ash, on the ground in front of her, and even like the desk has been like melted like wax. The edge of the desk.
Riani, what did you do?
Did you do anything?
No, I mean, he attacked. I had to defend myself. He was possessed of something dark. All I could do was look upon what made him and then unmake it.
is that his hand still in the cuff on the table?
It is, yeah. Well, like
Wow,
it's like
so
the,
he
it's like the
tore
flesh.
his hand off of his body in an attempt to kill you.
He effectively degloved himself, yeah. So tore away flesh and skin to get his hand through the.
So you're saying that when people go insane due to this condition, their strength becomes unnaturally strong. And you were surprised by his attack. So you never know when they're going to do something. It would be best if we disabled them quickly when we knew that they were affected and placed them in containment. Do you agree, Riani? He says says Riani, but he's looking at Dawn the whole time.
You know, Nero, I'm actually growing quite tired of your shenanigans.
Nero,
Yes, Adrian. Still looking at Dawn the whole time.
the two people that I assume you believe have been affected
Yes.
are the two people who fly the ship.
Yes.
So
We can call another shuttle down.
Would you like to continue with this?
And Nero, the other thing is,
Show.
Riani, was this a gentleman that you saw that had some influence over him?
Yes. Now, when I spoke with him, I had to help him remember his mind was addled by the war, but he was able to recall that a few days ago he was just in his shop and he went to open a door to a storeroom, and when he stepped into the room, it wasn't his storeroom he stepped into, but it was a different room, a charnel house. He said the walls, floor, everything was covered in blood, viscera, horrifically bladed weapons, and the door closed behind him. He couldn't remember what happened there, but he woke in his store and 3 days had passed. His wife had told the Arbites and they arrested him shortly thereafter.
Okay, well, I didn't see any sort of mess of blood, so it's fine for me.
Can I make like this is a weird question to ask because it's a role playing game, but can I make is Dawn capable of making a logical conclusion as to the evidence that's being presented towards her about doorways being a catalyst to allowing people to see horrific warp entities?
So I would take Forbidden Law, the Warp, or I'll take Logic, but Logic's going to be at -10. Has anyone actually got Forbidden Law, the Warp?
No, I do have Logic.
Probably
I do
Rihanna
have
does.
Logic.
Rihanna does. I can roll hers, but you can roll your Logic at -10 if you like.
Okay.
Oh, Rihanna does pass.
Can I roll?
Yeah.
I'll re-roll that. I would like to. Nope. Fuck it.
Add
Whatever.
contemplate to it, or just leave that to 0?
Yeah, you can, but it's because you are considering this. You are thinking about this heavily.
I'll fate point that. Why not? I'm not going to need it, probably. No, still fail. Nope. All right.
Okay. All right. So Rihanna, who does make the roll, offers. It's like something on this planet has pulled this place close to an element of the warp that is the domain of the brass god, the Lord of Skulls, the Keeper of Blood, and that somehow this is beginning to infect the populace. Is it true that? So she's saying this in like probably she sent the arbitrator away to have this conversation.
Yep, that would be smart.
Yeah.
After the hellacious insanity scream. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we should be telling the Order Malleus if we have any contact there. This is demonic energy at work.
It definitely seems serious.
Oh, I'm so glad we investigated this, Rihanna. You've really pulled together the last puzzle piece.
Perhaps we should inform, what's the name of the Inquisitor we know?
We know a lot of Inquisitors.
Apparently we have an Inquisitor.
Rolodex.
Yeah, we'll just do send all. There we go.
Was Pendergast
Someone will do
Ordo Hereticus or Ordo Malleus?
You have not met any Ordo Malleus yet.
Okay, so Pendergast is Ordo Hereticus.
Yeah.
That's so odd that those are not just connected in a way. Because don't they interconnect? Or is Ordo Hereticus including Psychers as well?
I mean, they an Inquisitor that comes, so an Inquisitor turns up to a planet and there's like an Eldar invasion. They're not going to go, look, not in my PD, brother. I'm just going to do my own thing. They still get involved, but it's more a case of like, it comes down to what they're equipped
specialty
to deal with. Yeah. So normally, I'm sure that if an Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor encountered a demonic invasion, they would try and deal with it, but they would probably still inform the Ordo Malleus. So this is a reminder for UAP because it was mentioned earlier. If you didn't pick up on it, the Ordo Hereticus has forbidden Ordo Malleus.
Malleus forbid,
yes.
Yeah, anybody from coming to investigate. Yes, this is exactly why I was sent, because they were like, "Oh, Shrain said I don't know what's happening. Please figure it out." Yep. Don't worry, James. I'm up to speed on this. I'm doing my best to keep everybody alive and unheretical. Investigating without actually taking action and completing the mission. But
look,
coming off as if I'm a crazy person juggling all these...
but I was looking at the audience. So.
Okay, great. Oh, yes, of course, yes. I'm doing my job semi-properly. All right, so we're all in agreement that this is very real, that Adrian could definitely be affected, maybe the Lord Captain. I think we need
possibly all of us if we stay long enough.
Yes, so let's not stay any longer. But we all agree it's real now, right? Again, I'm really sorry I had to punch you in the face, Adrian. I'm just trying to keep you from being turned into a melted pile of ash on the floor of an interrogation room.
Yeah, that was really... I mean, I think also Rihanna could just choked him to death.
Well,
yeah, I'm fairly certain Rihanna's the most dangerous person in this room right now.
Nero's just like, I'm super offended by that, Adrian.
Look.
Last time Rihanna melted stuff, I saved her life. You weren't there for that. Don't worry. It was cool.
Yes, but I saw Riani bend my very indestructible metal that
And she
nothing
melted
could
this
really
guy.
crush.
Don't worry, Lord Captain. If needed, I could make sure that metal doesn't remain. There would be nothing but atoms. So, let's go find a flying vessel and head over to Hive Volge, I guess? Right, it's a half an hour back to the ship.
Yeah, that's right.
Telepathica guy. Forget everything you heard here, especially that part about daemons and shit. But keep watching for daemon stuff. It's a hard life being a crewmate on a rogue trader ship, but that's what you signed up for.
I mean, he probably already knows about daemons and shit because he,
He's a psyker.
yeah.
Hey, whoa. I don't tell him how to do his job.
I think he just did.
Yeah, he definitely just did.
Nero's like, oh, damn. All right, old Nero's back now, guys. Let's get on the fucking train.
Yes,
okay.
We head back up to the gun cutter.
You head back up to the top of the plate.
We fly to Hive Volge. The whole time a gun pointed at Adrian's head. Master Thorn, can I remind you to move very slowly in very predictable motions?
It's like Nero's like, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go sit in one of the gun turrets, and then Adrian looks out the window and sees like the heavy bolters.
It's like points it up in the cockpit. Yeah.
Pierre's like in the co-pilot seat, getting ready to take control. It's, some sort of shootout happens.
Okay. So as described before, Hive Volge is a single level hive, but it's spread out over thousands of kilometers. It is this giant cityscape of just ruined buildings, like old prison blocks that are being converted into hab blocks now. Still factories, water purification plants, all sorts of industrial facilities. You sort of have to overfly the city several times with, while using this tracker that they gave you. But eventually you pick up a ping that the person you're looking for is in this part of the city. With that being said, there's absolutely nowhere to land the gun cutter directly nearby. You'll have to probably go at least an hour walk away from this location to find a space big enough to land the gun cutter.
All right, boys, where are we dropping?
This isn't a Valkyrie, Don, but I appreciate what you're saying.
I mean, if you don't get the reference, it's all right.
No, I did get the reference, Don, but I was just trying to keep it in universe.
I mean, you could jump out here, like, just couldn't put. Adrian would have to go put.
Yes, we're not leaving Adrian alone.
Yeah.
The thought of Adrian possibly going
and
blood insane while flying the gun cutter in an urban environment.
You guys,
look, I'm pretty sure if he doesn't go through any doorways, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
that seems to be the
doing strafing runs over the city.
If you all would like to jump off here, I can take the ship to somewhere to park.
I think you should come with us.
Fine, then let's find somewhere to park.
Yes, we're going to have to find public transit. And by public transit, I mean we'll requisition someone's vehicle for money.
Didn't we take the golf cart or something? I thought we did that.
Oh, can that fit in this vehicle? Oh, that's right. It probably can.
The gun cutter for sure, yeah.
Perfect. Yes.
You could probably even
people. I hope it could.
All right.
You could probably put the Chimera in this thing, but the Chimera wouldn't fit through the streets of this place.
Yeah, I was going to say the Chimera is probably not weight rated to start with. It's going to crush the street. Nero's just going to take a deep breath and say, "You're right. We brought the golf cart. I apologize. It's been a highly stressful situation. I am trying to keep everyone alive." Including you. What was your name? Rosen?
Yes.
Any warp stuff?
No.
Okay.
And Riani sort of says, even away from that hive, it's like a cloud is lifted as well.
So you're saying the main hive, Nova Castilia, is where it's sort of centrally focused on?
Yes.
Okay, but that's like not just the main hive, but the hive we're in right now is like a prison, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, normally I'd say, why didn't everybody just leave the main hive? But yeah, probably they don't want to live in a prison. All right, okay. I've started the golf cart. Here we go.
No worries. Now, Riani sort of turns to Adrian before as you're going out. Says, "Is this the sort of place where if we just leave the gun cutter, we're going to come back and find it up on blocks without any landing gear?"
Probably, yeah.
I'd be amazed. if they-
Most assuredly. Can I check the like the autopilot and see if there's any sort of like control for just like leaving the heavy bolter
circle the
turrets
city
off?
for a little while.
Yeah.
Probably not. It's not that complex.
No. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could leave potentially Rosen here to defend the ship.
No, we need
potentially.
Riani
Is it
here
like-
to defend the ship. We need Rosen.
Is it like the
we can use
Mandalorian ship
Riani
where
as well to show us the bad doors.
is it like the Mandalorian where it has like a defense measure for unidentified people coming up to it, or is it?
I mean, it can have like a lock on the door as such, which requires like a passcode or whatever. Example. I mean, there's a tech priest. A tech priest is part of the crew. So the tech priest will still be here.
All right,
Oh,
Tech
yeah.
Priest,
So the tech
defend
priest can
this.
potentially. Okay.
Congratulations, you're a Skitaric conscript now.
Is that a downgrade? I don't know if that's a
No,
downgrade.
the tech priest actually like questions your authority to make allocations to the Skitaric
Don't-
force.
You're right.
Don't
You're right.
worry.
I apologize. You still need to defend the ship with your life.
Yes. Please defend the ship. Nero,
Yes.
you need to get off your high horse.
What is a horse?
There's horses in this universe.
Name one
Yeah.
place we've seen a horse.
I said there is horses in the universe. I don't
Yeah, I
think
was saying that
horses-
we've
Yes, but I
seen-
assure you, they're not native
Uh,
to Cadia, so
Yeah.
they would be
Sorry.
evil warp horses if they were.
So you get like, I mean, there's a lot of people out in the street in this hive, and it's like classic sort of like, ghetto style gangs, out in the street, and they recognize where you guys are tough stuff. So they, that they observe you, they avoid you, but your presence goes with note for sure. It'd be
Oh
impossible.
no! Please try pickpocket the Lord Captain. I'm sure that'll go fabulously.
Yeah. Oh, look, I mean, probably some from child probably comes up and tries to sell you something, genuine.
What are you selling, child? I slow down
Uh,
to the child's jogging pace.
Okay, no, it's like genuine high vol carved coal pieces.
I immediately pick up speed. What's that? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm just like, I've seen this before, Lord Captain. They're not genuine.
It's imported coal.
It's clean coal, Lord Captain. That's what you're looking for, clean coal.
All right, let's think about high vol. High
I've
vol
never heard of
absolutely
clean
stinks.
coal. It's all dirty.
High vol has a constant smell of like toxic industrial waste, basically. So enough that it makes, if you're not using like a filter helmet, it makes the mucous membranes uncomfortable. In your eyes, ears, nose, like sort of like CS gas.
Yeah, I think Adrian definitely like puts the helmet on for the armor.
Okay, no worries.
I don't know if the helmet is sealed.
That's better than nothing.
I guess so.
You find your way to the location of the signal. It appears to be an old half-collapsed hab block, so it would have been much taller, but it's currently about 4 stories tall. Everyone give me scrutiny rolls, please. Plus 10.
Absolutely. I'm good at that. Sometimes.
Can you roll if you don't have it?
It's a basic skill.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother about re-rolling that. I'm only rolling at
Oh
20.
my god.
So.
Okay.
I'll fate point that because I have a pretty good scrutiny.
Okay. And you haven't spent like 8 fate points yet this session. Like
Yeah,
that.
right. Yeah.
I don't hold this kind of stuff. If you give me a system that lets you re-roll rolls, I will use it up immediately.
Okay. So
I got one
Wando,
left, so
you
for when I
notice
die.
that the local populace also seem to see this building a wide berth. Like, so people observing you going in, but more like, I can't believe they're going in there. Nobody goes in there. That's the sort of look that you're getting given when you're heading towards this building.
Wow, this is a great collapsed building over here.
I think Pierre motions for one of the people that's pretty much like no one goes in there. You were there. Why do people not go in here?
That's where the Mad Navigator lives.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Oh, I turn to look at Riani as if I'm going to kill her. The Mad Navigator, Riani. The Mad Navigator, huh?
Nero, if we're finding this person here, why wouldn't he be mad?
He could just be a criminal. You know, if he was the criminal navigator, that wouldn't be so bad. What if he was just poor, the poor navigator? You know, maybe he's just doing his time, but no, we had to get the insane navigator.
He could be angry. Okay.
All right. I hate to say this, but based upon the skills I have shown today, I am not sure dealing with a disturbed person is something I should be allowed near.
Then stay outside.
It's probably wise.
I will remain here with my gun pointed towards the hab block. I assure you, it will destroy everything between me and the target if you need it to.
Okay.
I have some explosives too.
You have some fun there, Nero.
Nero turns and looks in the golf cart and says, "Oh shit, I left the Renka case here."
We never did give that to the precinct one, did we?
We'll have to do that on the way back. All right, you kids have fun. I'll remain here with Riani and give her threatening glares.
And that's how Nero gets infected.
Okay, so Riani's staying outside with Nero?
No, she should probably go inside.
Okay, what about Rosen? Oh, yeah.
Rosen can
with
stay
Nero.
with Nero.
Rosen can stay outside.
Yeah, I threaten Rosen. I go, Rosen, is there any warp stuff here? What about right there? And I point towards the hab building.
No.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, this dude's gonna go insane because Nero's like, "Hey, is there some warp stuff over here?" And all of a sudden, it's like the second Eye of Terror.
What about now? What about now?
Say, Rosen, what do you do for fun?
Isn't this guy blind as well?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, well, he's functionally sighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play regicide.
Oh, really? Scene fades to black.
Okay, so the rest of you enter this building. So inside, once you get past like the main entrance, like what would have been the foyer, it has been converted into quite a nice little pad. You know, so it's got nice furniture, like almost noble level furniture, a bit old as well. You know, the roof has been sealed up so that it's an enclosed area, and a figure sort of steps out of the shadows. It's a man, probably late 40s. Long, scraggly black hair, wearing like just street clothes are a little bit dirty. In fact, probably over like a prisoner's tunic, which has the number marked out that you saw previously. What's distinct about this guy, though, is he has very clearly in his forehead a third eye, which is currently closed. So just to be clear, by the way, so the navigators. So if you didn't pick up what we only did. If navigators open their eyes and you see into their eye, it's enough to basically absolutely destroy your form.
Yeah, it's very, very bad.
In Riani's case, it does 2d10 plus 4 damage, ignoring armor and toughness. Yeah. Now, normally navigators cover it with a bit of cloth or some sort of thing, because walking around with the eye out, even closed, is the equivalent of like walking around with a gun out all the time with the hammer cocked and your finger on the trigger. Like, I'm not going to shoot you. I'm just going to walk around with this gun with my finger on the trigger the whole time, and you got to trust me. I'm not going to do something wrong with it. That's what it's like for a navigator to walk around with their third eye exposed.
That's lovely.
Yeah. As you see him, Riani leans down to you because she's taller than you as well, and she quietly says, "That's no navigator."
I guessed as much, Riani. Thank you for your keen perception.
Yeah. He looks up. Who has the temerity to enter my home unannounced?
I am Lord Commodore Pierre Cowles. I'm sorry, I would have scheduled a meeting if you had someone to schedule a meeting with.
Lord Commodore Cowles. I'm not familiar with your line. Are you new to this segment of space?
I am. It's his first visit here. Very lovely. Nice aroma.
I am.
I'm
I am.
sorry,
Raphael.
that got me.
I'm Raphael Mordino, a scion of the Navus Nobilite. Although he looks over at, no, actually, Riley's not wearing her trappings. She's wearing like traveling clothes, so he doesn't necessarily, other than the fact that she's a bit tall and weird looking.
Isn't she wearing like an eye cover?
She has like a bandana on. You know? So yeah,
tall, weird looking.
Yeah.
Strength.
He's eyeing her a bit unsurely, basically. Are you a Chartist captain or a rogue trader?
I am a rogue trader.
Is there a reason that you've sought me out?
Just real quick, Pondo. I'm pretty sure that these guys serve the Harlock line, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Stromo navigators.
Just reminding you.
I know.
Okay. Jay, look, maybe I'm just telling the audience.
I think Adrian has probably moved to like a few steps away from the Lord Captain, so that if
Lord Captain gets blasted.
well, so like if this guy wants to, give us the third eye stare and blow us up, he's gonna have to like look in two directions at once. So basically,
that's when you realize he has two eyes.
Separating the threat so that, maybe he'll get blown up first instead of the Lord Captain.
Adrian, give me an awareness roll.
Sure.
I'll give you +10.
That's when we find out that he has a kill team ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he didn't know we had a pocket Nero.
That's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
0.
Okay. Yeah. So when you sort of step to the side, because he's standing up like pleasantly with his hands behind his back. You notice that he has some small handheld device in his hand behind his back, some sort of trigger mechanism or like a button device. When he does sort of say, why have you come here to see me? He has he's moved his finger off it, it's like he was feeling threatened. Now he's moved to interested enough to sort of take his finger off the trigger.
Okay.
I've come to offer work for you. I'll get you some time off out of here if you're interested in that sort of thing.
Why me?
Specifically for your bloodline?
My bloodline? What do you know of the
Mordino?
Yeah, Mordino navigators.
I'll just say that I have a need for specific set of coordinates that are encrypted in a way that only such your line knows how to decrypt them.
Riani sort of looks at you like, may I speak?
No, Pierre casts off his cloak, and now he's no longer Pierre the Grey, he's Pierre the White.
Who's returned to us at the turn of the tide.
Pierre the Harlock. I have come to claim your service.
Go ahead, Riani.
She looks at him. We're looking for a member of House Nostromo. And he sort of he adjusts his posture somewhat, he's sort of he almost expected to hear that. Adrian, you see he sort of slips the device he had into his pocket now and brings his hands around to the front, in a pleasant gesture.
I also slightly relax.
No worries. So you'd be looking to speak with Lady Raina Nostromo then, yes?
Yes.
Yes. I am a go-between. I simply make sure that this is the issue. The Nostromo family line has had a long history with a rogue trader line known as the Harlock line. Have you familiar with it at all?
I am familiar, yes.
Yes. Well, as you probably know, the Harlocks disappeared some time ago, leaving behind stories of vast wealth and influence. And often rogue traders come here, or others seeking to gain the aid of House Nostromo to unlock the riches of the Harlock line. Something that my lady is not wont to do. So I'm simply a red herring to help throw off unwanted interest. Riani says, "What's that on your forehead?" And he's like, "This," he indicates towards the closed eye. "This is nothing. This is plastic surgery. Enough to create a mystique that keeps the gangs out of here. They feel threatened by the idea of a navigator which could destroy them in a moment, with only a wink."
I think when hearing that, like, Pierre also just like relaxes. Oh goodness, that is very effective. I'll give you that.
I'm happy to take you to see Lady Rayna. I'll need a moment to contact her, but this can be organised.
Excellent.
Is it just the 3 of you? 4 of you? 4 of you?
2 more. Well, I guess no. They'll probably.
2. Well, yeah. I'm not sure that we should
here, or is that we have to go meet her somewhere else?
No. Do you have ground transport?
Yes.
Okay.
So it might be 2 more because we have a driver.
Okay. I will organise this. Stand by. He disappears off into the room behind him. And then you shortly hear him on a Vox moment later. Eventually he returns and says, she'll see us. Please, if you lead me to your transport, I'll show you the way.
Okay. And I'll take
We
it to
go
transport.
outside. Nero is going.
Yeah,
So you play the game hooded, Rosen. Interesting. You don't find it makes it needlessly complex and longer than it needs to be.
At this point, you look up and see them emerge with a navigator with an uncovered third eye.
Okay. Nero actually doesn't react. He assumes that if the 4 people in that room couldn't deal with this guy, then like if he was a threat, he'd be dead.
Okay. He goes and sits in the passenger seat alongside the driver of the cart.
That's me. I turn sideways to look at him and go, "Listen, could I ask you to cover that, eye thing? You probably will make people nervous and someone might shoot you by accident."
It's people won't shoot us. People won't shoot us because of this. And reality sort of puts a hand on your shoulder, which is like, "It's okay, Nero."
So where are we going?
Nero is thinking of having this guy sit in the back as far away from everybody else as possible.
Yeah.
But,
well, this guy's like, "Okay, we need to start heading this way." He starts pointing you in a direction.
all right. Nero turns to the alert captain to make sure that we're actually going to follow the mad navigator's orders.
Yes, we're going to follow the Mad Navigator's orders.
All right. So Nero turns forward and says, I've never had a navigator in my side seat before. What's your name again? Garmin? He says as he starts the golf cart.
So he leads you through the streets for about an hour. And once again, people like observe you, but they give you, especially when they see him, they give you clear passage. You drive into what looks like it might have been some sort of processing plant area that's now all shut down. So it would have been once like sewage treatment or water purification facilities is now just massive reservoirs of gunky, moss-covered water, with a stagnant smell and a chemical smell about it as well. Eventually, you reach a large open reservoir, and he hops out of the golf cart, goes to some sort of panel, but punches in a bunch of numbers, and then there's 2 sluice gates divide, opening up, and therefore splitting the water and providing a passageway down through where the water was previously sitting, a hidden entrance underneath this reservoir, into some sort of subterranean passageway.
Some James Bond shit right there.
Yeah, he gets back into the golf cart and expectantly sort of indicates forward.
Okay. Nero blasts off forward.
Okay, no worries. You drive into what is some sort of garage area. There's multiple vehicles here. Some of which are ratty, Mad Max-esque looking compilations of junk and parts. Others are more conventional transports you'd expect to see in an upper hive. There's also like a flyer here as well, like some sort of like lander or equivalent shuttlecraft. Takes you through a sort of doors into what could be any noble house on any planet anywhere in the Imperium. Opulently appointed, multiple portraits of past family members, people moving about, doing their thing. I mean, certainly you get the impression that many of the people in here are navigators. And where you've seen multiple navigators gather before, it seems that mutation is higher here than it is among other houses. So more navigators have multiple mutations. So every navigator will have at least one mutation, but every time they develop their abilities, there's a chance they'll mutate more. So whereas Riani has developed her abilities without getting anything more than a natural grace, others might have mutated more substantially. Some are looking like quite inhuman in their appearance as well. But he takes you through to like a main receiving chamber. There's a figure seated in a throne at the far side of the room. You can tell that it's a woman only by the vague shape of its body. So, has anyone seen that awful film Priest?
Yes.
No, okay.
I have.
So, if you Google priest vampires, this is what she looks like basically. So she has white, almost translucent skin. She has no nose, no eyes, no ears, just a flat face with a single cover where you guess the third eye would be, and then this sort of it's extended more of glistening silvered fangs. You would guess if she were to stand tall, she would probably be about 7.5 feet tall. But she wears like a noble's dress gown, like a petticoated gown. Her fingers are at least sort of 7 inches long each and sort of tipped with claws. She has and she sort of sways almost serpent-like as she sits in the chair. So yeah, she looks pretty inhuman. Did you find a picture, AP?
I didn't. James, you've alarmed me enough that I don't want to. I've seen pictures of Vampire the Masquerade Nosferatu, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a real
That's what I was
solid.
thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, and she probably is mounting a beam laser in her head, so not. Nero moves to stand in front of the Lord Captain so that he'll take the blast first.
Nice. So Raphael goes forward. My lady, this is Lord Commodore Pierre Cowles of the Cowles Rogue Trader dynasty. She sort of nods her head to you in a greeting. Actually, why don't we leave this here? We'll do this like we did with the spider ride. We can do this actual thing at the start of next session. Are we happy with that?
Yes.
So it's going to be another. How long can we get through this before Nero shoots everybody?
Yeah, before Nero
Listen, besides punching Adrian in the face and arresting him, I feel like I could just be killing all of the people in the cages, but I didn't. All I did was run around screaming madly about how the warp is real and it's all around us, and we're all gonna die when Adrian tries to kill us.
You're the guy that they get for.
I'm the one who dies first in the movie. I'm like, all right, man, some bad shit's happening, and then I die, and then later on you're like, wow, that guy was totally right.
Except you're
too
gonna
bad we
die
didn't believe him, and we all died except for me.
Except you're gonna be the one that dies because you're spreading around the panic of all the warpy stuff. You're like, he knows too much.
What can I say? It's my Inquisition training. All of the 0 days of training I had.
I don't know you have much training. You're kind of just...
It's a learn on the job.
I only learned 2 skills from the Inquisition. Knowledge Inquisition and interrogation.
You're supposed to be like, hey, this is where I found out there's a cult here. I need you to go there and clear them out real quick. All right. So it's like, I need you to investigate this.
Listen, I'm walking a line, okay, and I'm trying to do my best. All right. What do we got, James?
We've got 300 XP.
Okay.
That's
Nice.
I now know how to carouse with people drunkenly.
That'll come in handy. Right here, right now.
Hey, listen, I got a case full of Renka right here.
Yeah, this is who we brought the Renka for. Is the vampire queen.
I also have interrogation plus 10 now. Correct.
Yeah. When do we go to
you'll
level
never
5?
use it.
17 something spent. Right?
Yeah, we're at 1610 now, right? 16100.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16100
That
total.
works for me.
And the next level is at. This book is not well indexed.
Am I 100 short?
17,000.
Choose
Right now
our
we're
next
rank-
couple of
rank
upgrades
4, right?
carefully. Yes, we're rank 4.
I think I am 100 short because I have 15. It'd be, I think, 1600 even. So I think I'm 100 short actually. I don't know what to do with that.
Oh. I think I can
So
get-
1610, yeah, that's what you said.
Yep.
Okay, then I'm on the right number. So.
I can get
Also
Deadeye
wrong
shot
number.
next time around. I think that lets
I
me
think I'm
call
just-
shot people with the missile launcher. In
What
the
does
head.
strength do for you, basically? Like every 10 points. What does it do?
Adds to your melee damage.
Mm-hmm.
Increases your carrying capacity.
Mm-hmm.
I think it also increases your jumping distance.
Right. Okay.
Bend van braces with your bare hands.
What's the highest strength? Well, Nero, what is your strength? Your strength is garbage, right?
45.
And what is your strength, Adrian?
My strength is 40 currently.
Okay.
Is that
I think
with or
I'll.
without power armor?
Yeah, that is without power armor.
So I think I'm gonna make mine go to 60 then. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a melee fighter, so that's exactly where you want it to be.
It's very expensive for me to invest in strength.
Right? Does strength add to your melee damage?
It does.
It
yes.
does.
Okay.
The tens, you add the tens place in damage.
Okay. I want to think about upgrading my strength then. Big Spoon, I did punch you in the face surprisingly this
You did.
episode, but
You
I
did.
I did so with the intention of not having to murder you.
Yeah.
When I'm
And
not
I-
murdering you,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
So, I'm here on Saturday nights playing Rogue Trader. I'm in the Solaris Knights wave or test waves.
Yep.
And then I sometimes play video games with you. And you can find me over at Twitter at BigSpoon223 or over on the Discord, same name.
Episode 9.
Yeah, episode 9.
Yeah, no. So every week I put the next episode down, and then
gotcha.
I include
Okay, nice.
where we're currently located and where we're headed to, and all the main plot lines, and Pathica Rosen's name, and that he likes regicide. I'm just putting that there so I have somebody to do dumb shit with. Me and Rosen are about to become best friends.
Did you look up Regicide, by the way?
Yep.
While we were
Yeah.
inside? Okay, yeah. I was
Both the
that sounds
40K
AP.
article and then the article about how to play it as a video game.
Yeah. I was sounds like...
I saw a recent meme recently that was like, how does anybody in Star Trek have any hobbies other than holodeck? It's like, hey, what do you do when you got a shift? Should we go and go to this virtual world where we can be anything we want to be, do anything we want to do? It's like, no, I'd rather play 3D chess.
Yeah. Or let's go down to the bar.
They had 4D chess where you'd place pieces and then you'd be like, well, it's not going to be here for 5 rounds. Hopefully you don't remember that my bishop is going to appear on... It was also played on 3 boards at once. Spock was
There's
like,
a-
"Yep, I'm basically unbeatable. I've predicted every possible move through time and space."
There's a I don't know if you follow any of the chess communities, but there's a chess grandmaster who is, I mean, there are a lot of them that are active on Twitch and stuff, but Hikaru Nakamura, he had this video once where he played, like, I think it was called 4D chess.
Yeah.
And it's specifically this website where you start a chess game, and then as you make moves, you can go back and you can move pieces from the present board to previous boards, which spawns a new, like, timeline, basically. It was weird. It was really weird and complex. But
you got anything else?
Nah, that's pretty much it, man.
Pondo.
That's my name.
True.
I am Ponder the Mad. You can find me at YouTube or Twitch /Spawn the Mad, or you can find me with the Slayer's Knights, or we'll hear every Saturday night. I don't have much else going on at the moment.
You're not going to do any painting streams?
Not until I can figure out how to set that up at the moment.
What about the Hunters of Ulvern?
Hopefully we get back to that tomorrow because we missed about maybe a month's worth. So that is on my own channel at Pond of the Mad.
Twitch.tv/Pond of the Mad, Hunters of Ulvern, a D&D 5e game?
Yep.
I'm saying it loudly because you were kind of whispering it.
Sorry, I'm trying to go through what I can get as far as an advancement.
Is it a specific kind of D&D game, AP or Pondo?
Oh, I don't know. Why don't you tell me, Pondo? Is it a specific kind of game?
Yes, it's a Gestalt where you can pick two classes and take the best of the two, like best health.
Incredible.
Yada yada yada.
Check out his Twitch stream, support him on Patreon or on OnlyFans.
I don't think he has either of those things.
I have a Patreon.
I roll the dice, so you don't have
went to the side.
Ooh.
I do have
Actually,
a Patreon.
Dave, that's a really good line.
I missed what he said.
He said, "I roll the dice so you don't have to."
Always a great thing I saw today is when your kids ask you what happens to you after you die, what happens after you die, you respond with, "Lots, just doesn't involve you anymore."
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh.
Make a new character sheet.
Wow. I don't know. I don't think that's it, Pondo.
A rebirth? Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'll take that.
Congratulations, you're now a snail.
It really depends how much metagame tech you get.
I was so disappointed between second and third in D&D, but they made the reincarnation chart all do things that were actually useful. No more reincarnating as a squirrel, you know. Yeah. It was always at least a
you never move down in the world. You're always moving up, you know.
Or at least laterally.
Thank you, Buddhism.
Yeah.
I didn't even know if that was even a thing that you could, in the old editions, you could turn into a squirrel.
And second, the reincarnation spell was being like it was mostly useless. Like you're a spider, like a normal spider, not a giant spider.
That sounds like a serious troll.
Hey, I'm reading a manga right now, which is about reincarnating as a spider. It's a good one.
Oh, you don't lose class levels. You'll still be a level 7 fighter squirrel. So,
are you reading the Kumo manga?
I don't know what it's called.
There's the main character named Kumo, and she was always like, "Oh no, everything is terrible! Panic, panic, panic!" No, wait, it's great again. I can use magic.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that sounds like her. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. Speaking of things that Dave does, let's talk to Dave. Now, wait, Dave might not mention this, but he's actually in charge of Kinky Fridays, and he makes porn.
Yes, I do. And if that's something you're interested in knowing about, follow my Twitter account at Kinky Fridays. We show things there. I don't know what you want me to say. I feel like. But,
give me your marketing pitch.
Sure. We create the lewdest adult entertainment this side of the internet. There you go. That's the actual pitch. We've got a furry game we're working on. We've got a adult jigsaw puzzle game. which is selling really well. A lot of people like that a lot.
That Pieces of My Heart.
Yep.
I heard Lima say it was really good.
Yeah. We are making a Binding of Isaac adult game at the moment, and
isn't that really just Binding of Isaac?
Just the mechanics based stuff. So, you know, like how Binding of Isaac plays, not what Binding of Isaac is, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And we're also doing a bunch of other stuff that I haven't confirmed that we're actually going to work on yet, but we're getting real close to confirming. So I'll mention them when I can actually talk.
So
about
you
them.
aren't going to confirm that Kinky Fridays is getting a Warhammer license then?
You laugh.
Happen.
You
For
laugh.
the Nero's Hospitaller vacation game that you're releasing.
You laugh. You really laugh at this, but like I have looked at the Inquisitor training guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We even tried to contact him. He never responded to our emails.
Yeah,
Dave and I.
that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How to Train Your Female Inquisitor, the video game by Kinky Fridays. You can only imagine what that's about. So
The same level of training that Nero has received, obviously. None.
Look, if Nero received that level of training, I think you'd be a completely different character. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I work really hard at the company, and you know, a lot of people really like the work we put out, and
Yeah, Glimo really likes it.
Mm-hmm. It's good enough to get banned in Germany. It's good enough for you.
Listen, that's a better pitch than the first one that you had. That's a really good pitch, actually.
Literally can't buy it in Germany. The soundtrack is
no,
so dope.
no,
You
like,
can't buy it in Germany.
Local West Virginia kids know that you can't buy most fireworks legally in West Virginia. So, like, you'll have to go over the Maryland or Pennsylvania borders, and then they're like, you can't use these fireworks outside of Pennsylvania. They're so good, they're illegal everywhere.
No, they just go to Myrtle Beach and pick them up there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It depends on where you live. If you live where Morgantown and stuff like that, you would probably go to Maryland or Pennsylvania. Charleston, you go down to Myrtle Beach and pick them up while you're on
Whether
vacation.
you're on the north side, the south side.
Yeah.
Light side, dark side. Dave, you got anything else?
I mean, not really. I'm just tired all the time now. So
That's only because
join my Discord. We got awesome new emotes, and we're almost at 900 people now. And yeah, it's a good community. Lots of cool stuff happening there, and blah blah blah. You get the idea.
You're whispering now. You're pondoing.
Look, man, it's 6 a.m. Give me a break.
I will. I'll give you a break. By hopping over to James.
Thank you, everybody, for playing again, and to the audience for watching. A very quiet audience on chat today, I noticed. So I don't know if they were overly engaged or overly unengaged, but I guess we'll find out down the track. I'll be back here on Wednesday for Cyberpunk. I will be back here on Saturday for Road Trade. I know, Arthur, you thought I might have said I was out the 16th. I think maybe I thought I was, but I'm traveling the following week, which shouldn't affect Road Trade, but might affect the following Cyberpunk. So I'm going to double check that with my wife.
Okay.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Yep.
My wife.
We'll be here next week in any case. So check me out on those shows, or I hang out on Arthur's Discord. Feel free to ping me there. Otherwise I'll see you on next show you're watching.
Better be this one.
What are the odds, James, that we get through the rest of this with like no combat? We walk away and we go to the secret inquisitorial fortress next episode by like the halfway point.
What secret inquisitorial fortress?
Abandoned Hope.
Abandoned Hope. Yeah,
It's literally
that's right.
we were gonna pick up Don's
secret battle
hit
sister
squad.
Yeah.
So I would say the chance is very good, unless you decide to investigate one of the other plot threads I dropped in there that you seem to have ignored. If you suddenly decide to take interest in it, it might take longer. If you just ignore it completely and go and bypass it, then there's a good chance you'll make it to Abandoned Hope by the middle of next session. I'd
ask everybody if you know what plot thread we ignored, but we ignored it, so...
Well, I mean, I assume it's the whole, people being pulled into a charnel house and turning into mass murderers.
Pretty sure you've gotten to that point.
Yeah,
So
I'd say
I'm gonna guess it's the
2/3 of
missing
the
people
episode
thing.
was dedicated to me going, I'm not crazy. It's real. It's real.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if it's
So-
necessarily ignored. It was definitely sidetracked by that. I'm guessing it's the missed disappearances is the other plot.
No. It's
Ooh,
more than
what
that.
is it? Well, it might be the naval stuff.
No.
Ooh,
It is the no one has sort any information about what the large circular keg-like building on top of the hive
Oh.
window.
I just assume it's a panopticon prison.
Okay, there you go.
But now I
And
want to know,
if you continue to assume that, then you will definitely get to.
Damn it, James.
Well, now that we know.
Yeah, now I want to know. If it's forbidden knowledge, I want to know. But I also want to do Dot's side quest.
We'll get there eventually, boys. Maybe.
I got to warn you, Dave. By the way, I have one character, one player who plays in my games, who always likes to have a pet, particularly a dog, join her character, and
Okay.
I always forget about it. So expect me to always forget you've got a cyber mastiff with you until you say, "What does my cyber mastiff see or do?" I'm like,
Ooh.
"Oh, that's right."
Is it with us right now?
Yeah.
No, I have to. Oh, he is
Okay.
with us. I thought I had to go to Ivy to get him.
Listen, that good dog gets to sit in the very back of the golf cart. The whole back seat is dedicated to the dog now.
He's
I've
the
placed,
goodest doggo.
Yeah, no. The whole back seat has been replaced with like a cyber mastiff bed and like cyber mastiff toys, a cyber mastiff chew bone.
He's got a custom hand tooled collar with his name on it now.
Yeah,
Nero is
I was
accommodating
planning
this
on-
dog.
Yeah, I was planning on going over to see Ivy.
Okay, we can do that way. That's fine. I just drop the stats
Yeah.
in your that's fine. We just when you do get it, just remind me from time to time if it's like it's like okay, we need to climb this ladder. It's like okay, well I need to remember that the cyber ladder mastiff might make that difficult.
Remember when we had to climb a rope inside the ship and no one else could climb and Nero had to carry them all up? I'm not going to do that with a dog with a chainsaw mouth, guys. All it takes is one accidental bite and suddenly Nero becomes...
Especially because it's got size hulking, so it must be the size of a small bear.
Oh, so it's literally the size of my power armor. So it's almost twice as big as I am.
Can I ride it if it's that big?
It's not designed for riding.
All right. So the answer is no.
Now you're like, all right, Ivy, I need a cyber leopard that's designed for riding. And
I
it
need you
shoots
to get a
lasers out of its
saddle
mouth.
for this cyber mastiff.
Support my power armor.
Historically, riding dogs has not worked out well.
So it says here, this heavy-duty cyber mastiff is often employed by the Calixian arbitres, custom designed at the commission of Lord Marshal Gorman's predecessors by the Leteinia Mechanicus. The beast is carefully crafted as a true terror weapon, a massively built, well-armored steel construct of considerable bulk, equipped with subsonic voxhailers that continually emit a selection of low-frequency vocalizations designed to trigger fear in the local population where they are deployed.
So is this a cyborg or
It's like a second
robot
Nero.
dog.
is it
a
a
robot
full
dog.
robot?
Yeah, it would probably have like an animal brain, like the brain of a real dog.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Ivy to make me those subsonic hailers.
You know what's really wild is that the Voidmaster doesn't get climb as a skill until rank 4. Like I just checked that going,
Look.
I don't have climb.
I don't think I
Nobody
get climb.
climbed in zero gravity.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I have climb. It's called a jetpack.
Yeah,
No,
Don is.
that's ascend, Dave.
Ah.
Oh, he's got you there.
Damn.
Like when I climb down, it's more of a fall and then a double jump at the
Oh, no, I
bottom
can
before I
get
hit the ground.
Yeah, basically.
All right, AP, send Dave to bed so he can go
It's true.
rest.
It's true. I'm so close to getting jaded, though. I'm thirsty for it.
I already have jaded, so I'm good.
I thought you were jaded, AP.
I'm good. Well, that must be really
Wait.
nice.
What's that going to change your character into if you... Oh my god. I don't even
So
think about it.
jaded, I think it's you fuck around and find out skill, right?
It's Jaded essentially
Jaded
means that
is
you can,
outrageous events no longer trigger insanity or fear tests.
it's Xenos or common, like
Yeah.
human stuff. War stuff still does
It
it.
means that I'm scarier than the things I face.
No, you just don't care. It's not. It means you're scarier.
Well, no, I am. Listen, presently I'm still scarier than them, but now I'm not scared of them in return.
So like that the scream that we heard in the holding area, like that still affects you, or
Not if it's a terror of the warp.
Yeah.
And it's not a terror of the warp, right? We determined that it's only slightly warpy in origin.
Yeah.
Well, that was nothing to do with like his power. That was to do with her opening her third eye.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would not affect.
So it was very warpy, so you would be still affected.
Yeah. She let the warp in just for a moment into that room.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
she let it in, and then it just
I'll have to
destroyed
make
that
sure
man's
never to
life.
fight Riani one-on-one without winning
navigators.
initiative.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're invisible. She doesn't see you.
That's it. That's the end of the episode. Just
Rudy,
make sure
thank
the
you.
person with the magical third eye can't see you. Got it.
Yeah. With the instant death in their forehead.
That's it.
Or,
Gank
make
the
sure
pilot.
she doesn't. Make sure she doesn't